Okay, so I ordered this Spartan holster here a couple weeks ago, and when I got it, I immediately noticed some major differences in the designs compared to this style Comp-Tac, and this is the M-Tac, and another M-Tac holster that I had previously, and they've completely changed the way the Kydex shells work. You can tell these look a lot nicer. They're a lot more. They got some printing on them and things. The problem is they've changed them in a lot of ways. There's actually a lot more material above the ejection port and the trigger guard, and they've also really exaggerated these sight channels a lot. And it's so much so that if you look at where the gun rides in a comfortable, natural position for me between these two, you can tell how much more material there is on these new Kydex bodies versus the previous ones. I mean, there's over an inch of material here that sticks up over the belt line, and that really interferes with your draw. I'm 6 foot, about 175, fairly flexible and active, and it's right at the limit of my ability to clear it from a holster. And if I lower the belt clips down to aid in clearing it, then it interferes here with me actually being able to get a good grip on the gun and not interfere with my fingers getting through. So that's a couple of things that's really flawed in this design. The other thing is if you look at these two, there's very little wiggle here. Here, I mean, the gun just flops around, and that's really not even trying. And I know on their website they say that the belt tension of your actual waist belt actually provides the final retention. And while I agree with that, I've been using M-Tacs. I started carrying an M-Tac holster about 7 years ago, and I can tell you that this is a new concern. This isn't the way they are, and I've compared this one to another M-Tac holster that's not the 0 degree style, but a buddy of mine's. We compared it, and his is like this, and his is a Glock 19 holster, so it's maybe a little bit more fair representation between the two versus this compact M&P here. However, his does not move, and even with the gun holstered and my waist belt, my belt man tightened down to a normal, comfortable position, it still moves around, and that's just not good. The other things you can tell have changed on the back side is just how much more material there is in this tab and the sweat guard. And honestly, you can tell here it comes to the top of this tang here. Here it runs down, and it really does get in the way. Your hand hits it. So there's just an excessive amount of leather on the back side that gets in the way. Then I don't know if I can show this very clearly or not, but the sight channel, you can see how tall it is. It's like they're made for suppressor sights, and I don't know if I can get this on camera or not, but this little rib right here, that's maybe 1/8 of an inch, is the only thing that's actually contacting the entire side of the gun, and that's where the problems come in. That's why this gun is allowed to move around so much. And here's where I'm kind of put off. I've had warranty issues with Comp-Tac products in the past, and for the amount of money they're charging for these holsters, these holsters are $60, and then they charge me $9 to ship it, so we're going to say it's a $70 holster. So $70, and this thing has a 1-year warranty. And I've had, on my previous M-Tac, I actually developed a crack across the top of the Kydex after I wore it for a while. And I wasn't comfortable carrying it anymore, so I just gave them a call and I said, hey, here's the deal, this Kydex broke, can I get a new shell for it? And they told me that, their products only had a 1-year warranty, and, oh, by the way, the spacing on the screws are different, and we no longer make a shell that fits your holster, so you need to buy a whole new holster. So there's nothing they could do for me on, you know, these M-Tacs are now $90, and for something that costs $90 that only has a 1-year warranty, that's just kind of bogus in my opinion. So I actually bought this one on a Black Friday special for 20% off, and I can say even the $60 plus 20% off, you know, plus the $9 for shipping and handling, it's still overpriced for what it is. When there are so many other manufacturers out there that are making holsters that have lifetime unconditional warranties, Comp-Tac really needs to step the game up here, because there's no reason this. I mean, it's a very nice looking holster, I give them that, but it's almost as if they went from being a semi-custom holster manufacturer to being a production holster manufacturer. And what I mean by that is it's almost as if this shell, this new design, was designed by somebody who really don't really carry a gun, or they really haven't had any formal training and any kind of idea of why holsters are, you know, it's almost if they don't really understand that a holster needs to be really secure, and to make the sight channel so tall and to fit holsters with suppressor height sights, to me seems kind of ridiculous. I mean, I could see offering that as an option, but that's just so much extra bulk compared to this one. I mean, the side channel's at least twice as tall on the new design. And then this little divot here, I'm not sure what that's even about, but what I do know is that reholstering the gun often will hit that and just kind of stop, and it actually takes the gun out of battery if you're not careful. So you got to be really careful with that. I mean, this whole thing just needs to be done away with. Honestly, the whole top of this just needs to be chopped off. There's no reason for any of this. I understand this little divot here so that you can, you know, extract your mag while it's holstered. I get that, but you don't need that. I mean, they could just do away with that and do away with all the bulk. So here's the other part of the story. I called them. They have their no BS 30-day, no questions asked warranty or return policy. So I called. Actually, I sent them an email 2 or 3 days ago. Never heard anything back from them. And so I looked on their website, and you know, you go through the contact us section of the website, and one of the things it specifically has is for returns. So I sent them an email, told them exactly what I had the problem was, and it's been, I think, 3 days. I've not heard anything from them at all. So I looked on the website again and found a phone number, so I called them. And so I'm trying to explain what the issue is with this new design, and this lady on the phone was being somewhat kind of argumentative, and she kept cutting me off and wouldn't let me talk. And you know, for a company who advertises that they have a no questions asked 30-day return policy, I spent 10 minutes on the phone, which it's 10 minutes of my life. It's not that big of a deal, but it should have been a lot easier than that, and I shouldn't have had to almost argue my case to just simply get a return goods authorization number. I mean, it should have been very easy. And part of the reason I want to take this video too is you can kind of tell that this holster's got a very slight amount of wear on it. I mean, I wore this for 5 days, and then I realized I just didn't want to wear it anymore. There's a very, very slight amount of wear on it, not a lot, very minimal. And they say on their website that the M-Tac holsters may very well have a 20% restocking fee if the leather has wear on it. And I mean, 5 days worth of use, and we'll see if they try to charge me the 20% restocking fee or not, which if they do is kind of bogus. Like I said, the $9 shipping was pretty excessive. It took me over 2 weeks to even get it. So anyways, that's the new design from Comp-Tac. I think it's a complete and utter fail. If you're thinking about buying this, I would suggest that you don't, and not until they get the design fixed. You know, the previous design like this is a good design. It's secure. There's not much movement, and when you do lock this into your belt, it's pretty stable. You're able to get a good grip on the gun without this flap interfering. you know, where this one here, it moves around, and then you try to get a grip on the gun, it's just in the way, and your thumb often hits it. And I mean, I know it's a price point holster for them. Between these two, was there a $30 difference? I think these are 60 and these are 90 now. I understand that there's a difference, but even with a $60 holster, you should be confident in what you're buying. And I'm not. It's just, so this is going back, and I just kind of wanted to document this a little bit to kind of see where where we end up, because like I said, I've had some issues with Comp-Tac's customer service in the past. I had a 2 o'clock, one of the 2 o'clock holsters that has them molded on. Basically, it has a permanently attached Kydex clip on the shell, and the Kydex clip broke off, and they wouldn't warranty it because it was outside their year. And that was a $60 holster that broke. And like I said, there's so many other manufacturers out there that are making Kydex products that have an unconditional lifetime guarantee, because everybody knows that Kydex breaks. So as of now, I'm going to send this back, get my money back, less the shipping charges to and from, and pretty much just be done with Comp-Tac as a company. This design should have never made it out of their R&D department. I mean, this is totally unacceptable on every possible realm of what makes a good holster. It's just a piece of junk. So, thanks a lot.